When I turned to say goodbye, I saw the fragile imprint of illness on his face, and all the anger drained right out of me. For the first time in my own memory, I said, "You know, I really love you, Dad." Tears sprang to his eyes, down his face, and kept coming so hard he couldn't speak at all, not even to say, "Take care of yourself," when I finally said bye and slipped out of the car. After that, I told him I loved him every time. He needed to hear it more than me. Oh my God, who are these wonderful people out there? I mean, Liz, thank you for sharing that, other than my husband won't recover. Honey, that is just so incredibly beautiful.
I got a scan, and I don't have thyroid cancer, so that's always nice.
And your thyroid is totally fine?
Thyroid's good to go.
Oh, my God.
I'm using it right now, even. Believe it or not.
Okay.
All right, Becky.
Do you ever have
Join
your
us.
cholesterol levels checked?
Oh, God. Yes, I have everything checked. I go to my physical.
You wash under your penis?
I wash under everyone's penis.
Yeah, okay.
If you got a penis
Oh,
out
my
there,
God.
I'll wash under it, okay? We're going to do our first listener voice note, so we're going to pop in our headphones. We've got a question from Willie, who leaves us very interesting messages in our inbox. And we consider her a friend of the show, and we'll have to have her on at some point. This isn't a question, really. It's just a dream she had. And we like these weird voice notes, by the way, so please be weird with us. And
As we're weird with you.
send them along. Okay, here is Willie's message.
I dream of a house. It's the same house, and it's the same steps. But when I get to the hallway at the top of the steps, the rooms are always set up different. I'm finding extra rooms. I'm finding rooms beyond the rooms. And it's quite fascinating because every time I have this dream, there's different rooms. And you go in a room and there's a couple steps down. There's another room. I turn right. There's another room. And it's quite interesting every time I dream it.
So, you guys are really good at dream interpretation. What do you think this means for Willie?
Well, I think I'm really envious of your dream, Willie, because first of all, I don't dream very much these days, or if I do, I remember little fragments when I wake up. I can't hold on to a dream. I think that's an incredibly positive dream, that the house is familiar, but you have all these new possibilities. That's how I interpret it. Every room is different. It means different things are going to happen, different places to explore, different possibilities to have. I mean, I would be thrilled if I had that dream. I'm going to have to borrow that dream and pretend it's mine.
Do you think that's an abundantly positive and comforting dream?
To me, it's abundantly positive and encouraging to explore new things and not just familiar things, like if you're in the same house with the same room all the time.
Interesting. Dad, what did you think of Willie's dream?
I think she's lost, and she's trying to get home. And I think she's looking for home when she was young. I think she's looking for her childhood.
I love that.
I tried to read Freud's interpretation of dreams. I didn't get past the 15th
You don't need
page.
to, honey. Just ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, those are two totally different interpretations. That's classic of me and Dad.
Do you guys have recurring dreams ever?
Mm-hmm.
Any that is shareable?
I'll share one that I think is preparing me to die. Believe it or not.
Well, we could all use some
I've had
preparing
two of them
for
in
that.
the last 2 weeks.
Really?
And it's very interesting to me. I've never had a dream like it. Nothing like it. I described it to Mom like a very fast, like water just going up. Like if I held this glass up and the water just quickly pulled out. And I was aware that I was dying, that I'd never had the feeling like this before, that my life was going to be over. And the second one was very similar. My head was being drained, and I knew that, and I kept saying stroke, stroke, stroke to people, that it was a stroke. And I actually woke up and I said to Mom in the morning, I think I had mini strokes during these dreams. Certainly the second one felt like a mini stroke because everything was leaving my head and I was trying to warn people, stroke, stroke, stroke. And then I'd black out. Just like I did in the first dream, I knew I was dying, I blacked out. And at the moment that I was gone, and it was fascinating to me because I was crystal clear that this is dying. This is what it feels like. These last moments of the food of your brain, if it's blood or whatever it is, electrical impulses, is just being pulled out, and it's over. The first one, I think I said, tell everybody I love them. That's what I said.
Yeah,
the first one I said, tell the kids I love them. Tell all the kids I love them. And then I said to Mom, but I didn't say tell you I love them because I was telling you to tell the kids I love them. And I was hoping you would know that I loved you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we also know you love us in case you want to,
In case I forget
in case you want to save those last words for something,
Anyway, I had these maybe within a week, but certainly within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow. Never a dream like that in my life. Wow. And I dream a fair amount. This was so wild to me, and I wasn't frightened by it. I was like, I remember thinking, okay, I get it.
Did it feel like a relief to wake up from that and be okay?
It was kind of amazing that it wasn't real because it felt so profoundly unlike anything I've ever known, which I guess is how I would imagine being out of this body. But I also felt that my brain was over. I didn't feel that it was going on. I didn't see white light. I just felt like it's over. Mm-hmm. And I was, I just remember in both cases going, that's pretty wild. That is not what I expected. That is not what it's not in the movies. It's not in the poems. It's not the mythology that you hear about. And it's just like, except for hearing Becky walk.
Yeah.
Quiet. Wow. And you don't have any recurring ones, Mom?
I don't have any recurring dreams that I know of. I had a dream you were in the other day because I woke up in mid-conversation with you about something. Oh. And then I always remember with dreams going, oh, yeah, I got to remember that. As soon as my eyes are open, it's gone.
Yeah. I have a recurring dream.
You do?
Yeah, and I'm wondering what you guys make of it. It's been happening like every few months for a couple years. I'm in the kitchen. I'm naked but cocooned with like blue bubble wrap. You know, like the packaging, blue bubble wrap. And I'm whisking eggs. And as I'm whisking the eggs and I'm looking at the bowl, there's more bowls of eggs and more whisks, and I have more hands and everything. And when I look up from the eggs, the entire room is a jungle with zebras and monkeys and elephants and tigers and cats. But every one of the animals has a different head on a different body part. So it's a zebra with a tiger's head, or a giraffe with a lion's head. And they're all just looking at me. And the second I see them, I go to stop whisking the eggs, and then they open their eyes really wide, like as though the whisking of the eggs, like they're depending on it. And then there's a large sound from above, and we look up, and it's just flowers, like slowly falling to the ground, like Gerber daisies and dahlias and all that falling. And all the flowers are landing on the animals' heads. But the first flower petal lands on the ground, the animals start tearing each other apart and eating each other and consuming them. And then I look down at the eggs, and the eggs are scrambled. They've cooked in the bowls by themselves. And I look up at the animals, and instead of being afraid, I just dive in. And I cut the blue plastic bubble wrap off my body, and my body is actually an animal. It's sort of like the bottom of a seahorse, and I dive in and I start eating all the animals too and everything, and we're just in a mess of blood and bone and marrow and skin and fur. And then I hear the door slam shut, and I open my eyes, and everything is clean and immaculate, and the room is clean. But I look down at my belly, and it's a table. And my whole body is a table. And everyone I know is coming in through the door, and they start setting the table for a feast. Somebody goes to light the candle explodes, and I wake up.
Gideon, I don't believe that's a dream. I believe you just made up that brilliant
No,
tale.
that is.
I do not believe for 1 second that's
I've
a
been
recurring
having that
dream.
dream every 2 or 3 months for years.
Gideon.
What do you think?
Aging comes with a lot of changes, but asking for help doesn't mean giving up your independence. In fact, the right kind of support can help you keep your independence. If you're starting to think about what comes next, whether that's a little help at home or exploring new living options, Care.com is here for you.
You can find background-checked in-home caregivers and compare senior living communities. You can even get a senior care advisor plan to talk to a master's-level social worker to build a personalized care plan. Care.com also gives you access to safety and hiring tools, plus the ability to filter by expertise, availability, and cost.
You can browse local communities, read real reviews, and even request a tour to find the right fit for your needs. Care.com really is an easier way to find help. So if you want to stay independent with your own kind of personalized support, visit Care.com. For a limited time, we're partnering with Care.com so you can get 20% off your initial Care.com subscription or a senior care advisor plan with code Don't Listen. That's Don't Listen, all one word, with Care.com. Start your senior care journey with confidence. When it's not you, it's Care.com. I think you're the most creative human being I've ever met. That is upside and downside. When you were younger, you felt nobody lived creative enough lives.
But what does that dream mean? I need to understand
dream. What does that dream mean?
What are the flowers?
What's it called when you have too much THC and then you have a relapse? Not a relapse, but after a while it comes back and you have too much marijuana or something, and then it
a good time?
No, the high or the acid trip or
come down?
Huh? No, it's not a come down. You take certain drugs, acid, marijuana. I heard about ganj. Certain
like
things.
Relapse
the flip
syndrome.
stick.
No, it's not a
syndrome.
It just comes
back.
The
wiggle up when you go wiggle up.
There's like a recurring, like a relapse, or it's not a relapse though. It's
outlapse.
No, forget it. You're fucking with me. It sounds to me like. Well, what's that stuff you did? The mushrooms, the psychedelic mushrooms, right? So I haven't done them, although Mom and I would like to at some point.
Yet.
But it sounds to me like you have done them, which I know you have, and it sounds to me like it's a residue of it left in your system, and it comes back to give you dreams like you've just described. That sound. I mean, having not done. These what's it called that I just said?
Drugs.
Drugs. The psilocybin and things. That's what it sounds to me like, a relapse of previously ingested chemicals.
I think it sounds like it addresses all sorts of things with you. Beauty and your love of cooking and your interest in animals and your...
I have an interest in animals?
An interest in animals.
What is my interest in
your
animals?
Your interest in animals is like your friends that are friends with the bear people and pet psychics and dogs and beauty
your friends
in flowers.
That are friends with the bear people.
And the table, you love setting a table. You love having people at your table. You make phenomenal gatherings.
Why
so
are
you
the different
becoming
heads
a table.
on the different animals?
Well, maybe you would like to be a different person, or maybe you would like the idea of being able to exchange identities with animals. And you're always talking about humans being animals, but then there's the beauty of the flowers contrasted with the horror of the violence of everybody eating each other.
And
I think it means that you're searching for a way to say how much you love your father.
Yes.
I think that's beautiful.
Pretty sure that's it.
Do you guys, aside from my dream, do you fundamentally believe in dreams and the power and the meaning, or do you think they're just random?
I believe
stuff?
in them, But in all seriousness, because I did certainly ask, as most of us do, I believe in the theory that you are everything and everyone in the dream. You are every
I'm the
animal.
zebra.
You are
Yeah.
every
I'm the eggs.
Yeah, everything. You're the table. You're the bubble wrap, and you're all the people in the dreams. Everybody you've seen, even if it's people you've known, you are them.
Wow.
And it is about you. It is how your brain, unconscious, subconscious, processes things that are floating around. Your question fascinated me just now, and because I've just had these 2 dreams, and we have friends that are dying in our age group. We have we are not trying to think about that. We are trying to exercise and eat right and stay active and do everything to live.
Yeah.
So it's not like I have morbid thoughts, and so I could literally in this discussion I could interpret those dreams as encouraging me to live.
Yeah, or encouraging you to meditate and empty your mind, or to
Maybe, but it could be, hey, buddy, you're at a certain age. This could be around the corner. Get out there and live a little more.
Right.
If you think you're living a lot today, double it.
Or maybe it means you need to take a shit, empty your bowels.
Excuse
I'm
me.
just saying, there's different ways to interpret it.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
You were talking about
There's just a
draining,
certain-
flushing it out.
Yeah. I wasn't. I don't.
Sometimes living with this family, I really feel like I'm Victorian or something. I really.
In Japan, you
know.
can rent different family members.
Yeah. How come
And they'll
Toto
give you
Toilet isn't one of
actors.
our sponsors?
Oh yeah,
We've been
that
trying
is
to get
so
Toto Toilet for a while.
strange.
Yeah.
Hey, this next
Okay.
part is really fun. We're going to
Yeah.
just roll through these.
I lowered the temperature on the toilet seat of the Toto Toilet. If you're listening at Toto Toilet,
Dad.
I'd be a good spokesperson. Thank you.
I want to share with you some listener feedback. So we get a lot of feedback in the comments and in our inbox. Usually it's very affectionate, but also sometimes you guys are reminding us of all the things we don't know. Fair enough. We are really grateful for each and every one of you. So thank you for, being in touch with us. We're now going to run through a few of your responses to our show. So first piece of feedback, we did an episode about astrology a while ago, and one of the things we didn't know was about the Cancer sign, the crab. We wondered if it had anything to do with the word for the disease cancer. So here's a comment that we got from a viewer on YouTube at Elizabeth Gullen 3810. She said, the disease is called cancer because tumors often look like crabs. The Greek word for crab is karkinos, coined by the Greek physician Hippocrates.
Oh wow!
I've never seen a picture of a tumor, so that's interesting to me. Maybe
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was one of your questions answered by our listener.
Wow. I also just want to say one thing about dreams. I used to have so much going on, and I would describe something I thought of to a friend, and they would say, was that a dream or when you were awake?
Right.
So I think maybe the reason I don't dream is because my brain is working overtime during the day, fantasizing all the horrible things I'm worried about will happen to me or my family or people I love.
Mom brings up an interesting thing to bring back the dream thing. I feel very strongly about something. I feel, and this is, I don't know how to quite tie it to it, but it's about the dream. If you dream, if you lose your father, and you're waiting, when will I dream about him? I love my dad. When will he show up in a dream? For me, it was 6 years. But when he showed up, I refused to accept, because I live in my imagination, and that's all happening up here. And I refuse to accept that this conversation I'm having with you and feeling I'm touching Mom right here with my left hand on her right shoulder, all of this is called reality. But when I see my father in a dream, you call it my subconscious, my unconscious, a dream. You have all kinds of names out there for it. I refuse to believe that it's any different than me seeing you or talking to this microphone, or that for me, what sometimes happens in my dream, and I have the right to choose, is an equal reality that my brain experiences to hearing my dog bark, seeing the trees and the light outside the window.
Yeah.
I believe it deeply.
Yeah. I hear that.
So I just want to get that out there
I love
Okay.
that.
in case I die right now.
Okay.
The next one is a voice note about starting over. We can put our headphones in. Mom and Dad, you remember Britt in our very first episode? She was a chef who was working in an assisted living facility.
Yes, I do.
Yes. And she asked about starting over in midlife. She wanted to quit and open a food truck. Your conversation with Britt led to a voice note from Kim. So we're going to have a listen to Kim right here.
Hi, this is Kim, and I just listened to your first episode. There was a gal that called in, Britt, I believe her name was, who was talking about being afraid to start something new. I will tell you that when my dad was 45, he'd had 4 heart attacks and felt like it was time to change his life. He graduated at the top of his RN class at the age of 50 and went on to work for another 20 years. So I love the advice you gave. I am so glad that I found your podcast. Have a great day.
Wow. I mean, that just gave me chills to think of having any impact, and sort of forming this community, because my favorite way of being with people is in what I call 3 dimensions and in person. And I'm always critical of, Zooms podcasts. What are we doing?
I just like seeing them in my dreams.
That's really touching. I love knowing about a guy that had heart attacks and at 45 went to nursing school and graduated at 50 and became top of the class and became an RN.
Well, that's a note to us all. I used to say it to Paul Ford, who, he'd be depressed or I'd be depressed one day and we'd go in to rehearse for 2-3 hours. And, the air going in and out, playing the piano, singing. All of a sudden you walk out 2 hours later and you feel better.
Yeah.
And I'd say to him at times, Paul, we get these letters from people that say, thank you for your music. It helped me get through my parents' this or my cancer, or my troubles here or there. And I would say to him, Paul, most of the time we don't hear from the people who hear our music or what we make or what we do. And I think it's so important to remember that what you do, whoever you are and whatever you do, affects people. It ripples through the world, the universe. Some little kid sees it and decides to do something, and you'll never know that. But that's how it works.
Yeah. My gym teacher, Mr. Rubiera, from 4th grade, found out he lives down the road, went up to his house in COVID and had coffee with him in the porch. I said, I don't know if you remember him. He said, oh, yeah. I said, when I was in gymnastics PE class with you, Mr. R was helping me do a back handspring, and his thumb or something got hooked on my sweatpants, and they got pulled down for a second, and my butt was exposed, and 2 of the kids saw that my butt was exposed, and all the kids started laughing or teasing, and you, Mr. Rubiera, you came out of nowhere, and you did a whole little dance and distracted all the kids from making fun of me, and I felt like you saved my life, and I've thought about that moment for the last 30 years. I was like, you don't remember that, do you? He's like, no, but I do that kind of thing all the time. And it meant so much to him. His lasting effect from his little action. Yeah. That's what that made me think of.
No, it does. It's really, really true.
Okay, next one is about toilet paper. There's an email about toilet paper. Dad, you probably don't remember, but early on this season, you expressed some very strong feelings about the right way to hang toilet paper. Can you refresh our memories what your stance on toilet paper hanging is?
Yeah, if I'm sitting on the toilet and the toilet paper's on my right, I don't want the paper coming down from the bottom. I want it on top so that I pull it right from the top.
Right.
And some people, literally guests in your house, flip the fucking toilet paper roll.
Right.
And it's a lot of nerve.
Right. So we have this note from Francesca for Dad to read, and she sorely disagrees. Read that out for us, Dad.
Hi, guys. Loved the first episode of the pod, but Mandy, clearly, you don't have a cat. That's why you turned the roll round, as otherwise the cat thinks it's a brilliant toy and unrolls the whole damn thing in about 12 seconds into a white pyramid on the floor. They can't do it if you turn the role round. However, fair point that it's very weird to go into someone else's house and change their roles round. Look forward to the next episode. Francesca, London, England. Francesca?
Are you persuaded?
No.
We don't have a cat. We'll never have a cat.
It's not a matter of being persuaded. I totally see her point.
Yeah.
I agree with it. It seems absolutely... Well, first of all, the way I'm talking about putting on toilet paper, a cat can pull it down too.
No.
Oh, that's what she's saying. She's saying you can't pull it down if it's the other way. Right. So, point well taken. If I had a cat, that's maybe why I don't have a cat. My dog doesn't do that kind of stuff.
But Dad, if you're trying to figure out which guest is the culprit,
it's the one who has a cat.
You just need to interview your friends and find out who has a cat.
It's always going to be my friend Vicky Traub. She loves cats more than anyone I know.
Yeah.
And even if she hasn't been in my house, I know somehow she's found a way to influence some individual who sat on my Toto toilet. Another possibility for thinking of me as an advertiser for Toto toilets.
Never before has an individual worked so hard to get sponsored by a toilet.
Yeah.
This last email was in response about what happens after death. And we received this email after the episode called How to Talk to Whales and What Happens After Death, where we talked about different ideas of the afterlife. So this is a bit long, but it's so beautiful and we wanted to share it in its entirety. This letter comes from Liz, and wondering if, Mom, you could read this for us.
Yes. Ooh. Hi, Mandy, Kathryn, and Gideon. I just watched the episode from October 29th. In it, Mandy says that the dreams he has of sitting with his dad and mom are no less real to his brain than sitting with Kathryn and Gideon while he's awake. 100% equally real to his brain, he said. And I just want to let you know that, scientifically speaking, he is 100% correct. I was taught in neuroscience that the brain receives waking perceptions and sleeping perceptions, dreams, on an equal footing and cannot tell the difference. Both are equally real to the brain.
Oh, my God. I love this.
Oh, my God.
Go on.
This is the reason why atonia, a temporary state of muscle paralysis, is essential during REM sleep when we experience our most vivid dreams. Without atonia, our brains would attempt to bodily respond to the dream as it responds to waking stimuli. Here's my own vivid dream life after death story. When my dad was diagnosed with ALS, I was living in New York City, completely broke, trying to build a new career after injuring my back as a stage painter. Dad was upstate, a 5-hour bus ride away. The doctor told my parents he might live 2 to 5 years. But then the doctor turned and looked at me, and his expression said, "Sooner than that." From that look, I guessed or hoped that Dad might live 1 year, so I decided right then that I was going to take that bus upstate every 2 weeks no matter what. If he lived a year, I'd only be with him 24 more times. Not enough, but I hoped wrong. After his diagnosis, Dad lived 4 months. I saw him 8 times. Each time as I was leaving, I put my hand to his face and said, "I love you, Dad." Until that last time, when he could no longer speak, he always responded, "Take care of yourself." He could never say, "I love you" back, but he didn't need to. We had fought a lot in the years before he started getting sick. That is, I fought him. My dad was as gentle as they come. He used to tell people I was tough as nails because I was so angry at him sometimes. But I was really just like him. Around the time he first started showing signs of being ill, and we had begun asking doctors what could be wrong, I got worked up over something as Dad was driving me to the bus station to go back to New York City, and I was yelling at him like Biff Loman as he pulled the car up to drop me off. When I turned to say goodbye, I saw the fragile imprint of illness on his face, and all the anger drained right out of me. For the first time in my own memory, I said, "You know, I really love you, Dad." Tears sprang to his eyes, down his face, and kept coming so hard he couldn't speak at all, not even to say, "Take care of yourself," when I finally said bye and slipped out of the car. After that, I told him I loved him every time. He needed to hear it more than me. For 2 years after Dad died, every single night, I had very vivid dreams of being with him, joking around with him. Not memories, new interactions. It was an unexpected gift. During that most acute period of grief, every night when I went to sleep, I knew I was going to see Dad. And you'd think we would try to say to each other all the things we'd never been able to say before, but it wasn't like that. When I saw him in my dreams, I saw a man who already knew everything I had fought so hard to try to get him to understand while he was alive. So we could just be together and laugh. He still never said I love you, and I still didn't need him to. It was written all over his face and always had been. Like Mandy, I think that E equals MC2 means that our life energy and bodies must simply become different forms of energy and matter when we die. As with all drugs, as with all things in the universe, we were formed from stardust, and unto stardust we will eventually return. Warmest wishes to all of you, Liz. Oh my God, who are these wonderful people out there? I mean, Liz, thank you for sharing that. Other than my husband won't recover. Honey, that is just so incredibly beautiful.
I don't even know if there's
Any
much
response?
we need to say except thank you, Liz.
Yeah.
For sharing that
Thank
with
you.
us. I feel very privileged that you would share it with
Yeah,
us.
I do too. You know, I just want to say one thing.
Yeah.
You know, I remember one of my closest friends and director, Timothy Neer, years ago, we were saying goodbye in New York, and I kissed her goodbye, and she said, "Kath, do we have to kiss goodbye every time?"
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Yeah, we do, because you never know." And, you know, everybody has their different experiences with how people express love or seem not to express it, but you find different ways of appreciating how they do. And I just think that's a great reminder that it's not always in the words or actions, but in responses and the feelings that you have with people. That is so beautiful, Liz. God,
Thank you for sharing
thank you
that.
so much.
And thanks for reading it, Ma.
I really don't have any more words. I just
No,
want to reread this
think
again.
sometimes it's okay to just let our
Yeah.
friends out there.
Have their
You know.
experience. Thank you so much, Liz.
Some of our listeners have noticed that when we get questions about finding joy and pleasure in life, or even questions about misery and struggle, Dad, you often suggest 2 things. Mom, do you know what they are? 2 things Dad often goes back to with just general advice
Advice for joy or
or anything.
eat something sweet,
Ice cream
ice cream, and workout.
or
No.
get a dog.
Oh, ice cream and a dog.
So, Dad, you claimed in an earlier episode that there's no difference between oat milk ice cream and regular ice cream.
Oh, we're going to
So
test this
we're
out?
going to do a taste test today to see if that's true.
Blindfolded?
Now, I know that you're not eating.
I can do a taste test.
Okay, because I got you a spittoon here. If you need to
Oh
spit
my
out your ice
God.
cream, you could still.
Okay. I don't
do
think
that.
I'll need to do
Okay,
that.
great. So there's your spoons.
I would disagree with
There's a
Dad on this
small amount of ice
profoundly.
cream.
I
Okay.
think that the taste difference is.
So we've got 3 different kinds of ice cream, and you guys are going to guess which one.
Have you masked them?
I have.
Oh my
and Now
God.
it's stuck in this cooler. There we go. Opening the cooler.
Wow, this is fun. I didn't expect this. This is really
this
nice.
is type 1.
Okay.
This is type 2.
Okay.
And this is type 3. I've put them in some
Well,
reusable
and the only
glass.
difference is which is oat milk and which is regular.
So there's a plant-based milk, there's regular, and there's oat milk. Okay.
Plant-based, regular, and oat milk. Here's one, okay?
So Ma, taste that one at the same time as Dad. Dad, don't say yet to influence Mom's thing. Okay. So that's 1. You can make some notes there.
Well, it's confusing because what flavor is it?
They're all vanilla.
They're all
They're
vanilla.
all the same flavor.
This is the second one?
Yeah, that's the second one. Second vanilla. Dad is making
Where's the second
detailed
one?
notes.
Why is that one open?
I opened all of them.
Oh.
Second one.
Here, honey. Take your spoon with you, will you, please?
Is she not following proper taste test etiquette?
Here you go. And now the third.
No, the third.
This is, if I fail this, it's going to affirm the fact that I think my smell and taste have been diminished from COVID.
Now, which one do you guys think tastes the best? Aside from which one was what kind of milk? Which one do you think
I
tastes
thought
the best?
number 2 tasted the best.
Dad? He's got very detailed notes. He's trying to decipher them.
I like number 1 the best because I'm used to it, and I'm pretty sure that's the oat milk.
Interesting.
I thought the number 1 was plant-based, the number 2 was regular milk, and number 3 was oat.
Okay, and Dad, what do you think
I had number
2
1
was?
being oat milk, number 2 being plant-based, number 3 being regular. No. Number 2 being classic. Shit.
Classic.
Where was number 2?
You gotta get back in there. This is number 2.
I got confused.
Yeah.
I wrote the
I
same
bet you
thing
put
for
classic
each.
for regular.
That's normal. Number 2 is classic
Okay, and then number 3 you think
Is plant.
is plant.
because I think it tasted shitty. Yeah.
Okay. Kathryn Grody was 100% correct.
What did she say?
Oh,
She
my
said
God.
number 1 was plant,
Yeah.
number 2 was regular, and number 3 was oat. You were just right about number 2 being regular.
Oh, I love this.
And the one you said tastes shitty is the one you previously claimed there was no difference between oat
This is
milk.
oat, number
ice
3?
Yeah, oat milk ice cream and regular ice cream.
Wow.
Which one do you like the best, Mom?
I like regular the best.
And you felt that way before I told you?
I
which
felt
one?
totally that way before. Milk, you know.
But Dad liked the plant-based the best this time.
Did you?
It was plant. I thought it was oat milk, but it was plant, Gid says.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So that was coconut.
I mean, I'm feeling like Michael Pollan, who said, when did bread become
Here, let's get rid of these.
a dangerous food? And I'm feeling like, when did milk become something awful? Unless you have a real problem, like you're lactose intolerant.
Do you feel differently about oat milk ice cream now that that happened?
I'm upset that this is what the results are.
Yeah.
Do you want to do it again?
No.
I like that, though, Gid. I so loved knowing the taste difference. It made me feel better about my taste.
What is it about ice cream, do you guys think, that is so unifying and that is such a go-to for happiness for people? Is it nostalgia, childhood, summer, leisure, psychological, as much as physiological? What is it for you, Dad?
It's no longer escape into pleasure because I've decided not to have the sugar. So
For right now.
this test has upset me because I had 3 spoonfuls of sugar.
I brought you a spittoon.
It was hard to taste it and spit it out. It's ice cream. It melts in your mouth. Have you ever had ice
I
cream?
just want to say, you know what else melts in your mouth? Liquid. People spit
Yeah.
liquid out.
I'm not debating this. I'm
just saying, I was considering
I appreciate your consideration. And so I just am angry now at ice cream.
How long have you been off the scoops?
I'd say about a month and a week, or 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah. You've been on and off the scoops your whole life, huh?
Yeah, but longer because I get off at least 3 to 4 weeks before I have to start singing.
Yeah.
So I've probably been off a good 2 months plus.
When you go back to the scoops, are you a 1 scoop guy, a 2 scoop guy?
I'm a double scoop cone guy.
What kind of scoop you do, Ma?
I do 2 scoops when I'm really indulgent. That's a trouble. I think ice cream is my favorite, one of my very favorite desserts. I think it is nostalgic. You know what it is? It's a slow time. It's a slow food dessert. You can't wolf down ice cream because you get a brain freeze. And it is evocative of summer and laziness and, antidote to heat. And it's a pleasure to go slow with an ice cream cone to make it last as long as possible.
This is like an alcoholic listening to people talking about their favorite drinks.
Great. We want to hear from you guys out there, all the Liz's of the world and other people. Questions, stories, advice for us, advice for your friends, dreams. Please send them to askmandyandkathryn@gmail.com or check out our socials for an easy way to send us a voice note. And thanks so much for being here and tuning in. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone.
Don't Listen to Us is a Lemonada Media original, hosted by Mandy Patinkin, Kathryn Grody, and Gideon Grody Patinkin. Created by Katrina Onstad, Debbie Pacheco, and Gideon Grody Patinkin. Executive producers are Kathryn Grody, Gideon Grody Patinkin, Mandy Patinkin, Katrina Onstad, Debbie Pacheco, Jessica Cordova Kramer, and Stephanie Whittles Wax. Our engineer is Ryan Derringer of Welterweight Sound. Video and audio production by Mark Whiteway of Bellows Media.
You can watch on cnn.com/watch or the CNN app.
If you haven't subscribed to Lemonada Media Premium yet, now's the perfect time. You can hear Don't Listen to Us completely ad-free. Plus, you'll unlock exclusive bonus content like behind-the-scenes conversations, questions so weird they didn't make it on air, Becky the Dog shenanigans, and more. Just tap the subscribe button on Apple Podcasts, head to lemonadapremium.com to subscribe on any other app, or listen ad-free on Amazon Music with your Prime membership. That's lemonadapremium.com. Don't miss out.